Islam. And again, now we remind you, all of this starts with the birth certificate, marriage license, the driver's license, etc.
Social Security card.
Social Security card. That's why they put them numbers on it, because the child automatically, when the child is issued, is already in debt about $600,000, as it is of now. Brother Mike, he'll update me on that.
Well, how you get them back?
That's what I was going to ask about when you start the process of issuing disclaimers.
Yes, disclaimers.
And because I got confused about one thing. I know that I could create what's called a birth record for myself.
Yes.
And then send a disclaimer to, who would I send it to? Vital Statistics,
well, look at this.
Department of Commerce?
Vital Statistics have two things. For the general public, what they have, when they have those records, they have what you call a birth record, and then they have a birth certificate. What they will do is issue to you a birth certificate, and they will keep the birth record. What you want is the birth record, and let them keep the birth certificate. They don't tell you that those two instruments are there. All right? So the certificate is a bond of a claim. You accept it and you agree. So it's binding contract. The birth record is only the truth of that, the thing that occurred. Now the birth record would have your mother and your father's name, the position, or the geographical location where you were at the time that the mother gave birth. It would have the time, the doctors and all persons present, etc., etc. That is the information that they will use against you astrologically when they issue suits like tickets, etc. They'll look at the vibratory rate based on when you came in, and they'll deal with you on a down cycle. So yes, that's how. That's why they keep the birth record, and they give you the birth certificate, which is really a contractual agreement that you belong to the state. So that gives them an artificial jurisdiction for which to make a claim on you or against you at any time. So they start off by transferring their fiat debt to you. So however far the deficit goes, they will by proportion assign that to every new child born. And so proportionally, that child will be in debt at birth. Then the mother's held to it, to the child is of working age. And then the child, that certificate is used. And then if the mother has a marriage certificate from the corporate state, it's double indemnity. Islam.
Are we able to sue them for all the taxes they took out on us, and for every more with the welfare system? They say that they take about a bond that they put aside for us because they know that of our nationality, and it's Negro, Black, and colored, a form of ethnic cleansing, the way they did around Bosnia and places like that.
Well, actually, that's what the King Alfred Plan is for. Well, it's already in effect. All right. Now, of course, I know most of the scholars here are aware of the King Alfred Plan. Who's not aware of the King Alfred Plan? See, there's very few not aware of it. Well, the King Alfred Plan is the military manual that's it's a military manual, Executive Order 11490. This is the executive order, was authorized in 1969 to counteract the minority, blacks, Indians, Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and poor whites in their rise up from under the depression and the powers that be, the government, King Alfred. Now, this booklet contains vital excerpts from the Executive Order 11490, October 19, 1969, the King Alfred Plan, the Rex 84 Plan, concentration camps, Executive Order 11490 expanded, top secret, silent weapons for quiet wars, introductory programming manual, operations research technical manual, TM-SW7905.1. Union States of America Incorporated. The Executive Order number 11490, the Rex 84 Plan, and silent weapons for quiet wars has been in the hands of the popularly accepted individuals calling themselves, quote-unquote, the black leaders since the early 1970s. Many have spoken of them, but few have logistically broken them down and disseminated the information to their alluring public. The King Alfred Plan implicates the true motive and reasons as to why they do not. And one will take note that all the people mentioned in these government plans, blacks, Indians, Latinos, Puerto Ricans, poor whites, do not include a de jure national name or title. All these words are descriptive chattel brands coined by Europeans as substitute pedigree parentage names and were forced as applications or appellations on the indigenous peoples of the Americas and their own discards. All people bearing these labels are referred to as it in these briefs and in these texts. One common thread is evident: no nationality, no equal rights, no human value. Are any of the states assigned black leaders speaking of or educating their people in recourse, redress, remedy, or sovereignty? Do they instruct or do they not? This is the question. Ignorance. Ignorance, dogmatic belief systems, and tunnel vision mark the preferred opiate for the knowledge-fearing masses. King Alfred is the culling tool for the non-productive burden on civilization and the world's resources. So they're going to get rid of niggers. If we don't solve it, they're going to solve it. And they're going to solve it with military action. And since they studied the so-called Jews that claim to be Jews that were not Jews, and they had a lot of ashes, this time they're going to use vaporization techniques with trash to steam plants. That's what they're going to do. So either we fix it or they will.
What I would note, Mike Reels, that for the welfare system, they would go to that bond and pay.
Now look at that system. Now you know that comes from the Christian Black Codes too. I think it's Article 6, Christian Black Codes, condition of the child, condition of the mother, etc., etc. All right.